Good to see you.
Fantastic.
It's so beautiful here.
Welcome at Beck, and let's go inside.
Let's go. Mr. Peter Bubbles Ferreira, the man of the moment. It's so good to meet you. Did you always want to be a winemaker? How did you find yourself in this space?
1984, I was offered an opportunity to join Achim von Arnhem in Franschhoek, and then I ventured on to Beck.
We've got to talk about why Beck Estate is based in Roberts.
Beck was a coal miner by trade, and then he ventured into breeding of thoroughbred horses. So this is the story on the wall. He brought his horses here, and all of a sudden he became the most successful breeder. Then there was a tragic Laingsburg flood, but then he was talked into buying the farm at Eba, and then the splendor of what you see here today is reality.
What's your favorite wine variety?
If there was a variety called Bubble, it would have been better. But obviously Chardonnay. Robertson made Chardonnay famous in the early 80s. Beck had a vision to make Chardonnay the king. So it is undoubtedly been my favorite variety, Chardonnay.
Where then and when was the first Beck vintage vinified?
Well, it's an amazing story. 91 was our maiden vintage. We had little mobile presses, and the one day we will harvest on that side while they're throwing concrete on the other side. There was no roof on the building or anything. We call it the vintage under the stars.
That must have presented lots of challenges in the earlier years of Beck. What were those challenges?
I think more understanding the terroir of Robertson itself. I think, great wine doesn't start in the winery, it starts in the vineyard. This is the vintage under the stars. It certainly must, in my 30 years, be the one that says, wow, Beck has started.
I have to tell you, I've never drank anything that's about the same age as I am. So this should be quite special. Put it here, Prost. 30 years is a long time. Memories collected, lessons learned. What's your biggest lesson been?
We're in pursuit of the perfect bubble. We find every year and every new vintage that we bring into Beck, there is something new that we can add to the contribution of the smaller bubble.
And what's your vision for Beck looking into the future?
We remain aspirational as a brand. We want to be the leader in South Africa, but we want to also be recognized in most countries that we do sell our wines in. And yet to the next 30 years of Beck.
Hi, I'm Pierre, winemaker at Beck in Western Cape, South Africa, and we're a specialist producer of Cup Classique, which is the South African version of a Method Champenoise wine style. And today I'd like to talk to you about our non-vintage Rosé. This is a blend of 60% Pinot Noir and 40% Chardonnay, and we buy in Pinot Noir from all over the Western Cape. And therefore, after a bit of transport, after picking the base wines that we receive from these grapes, have quite a nice deep hue in color, and therefore we blend specifically to be able to reach this beautiful, vibrant, almost silverish pink color. The Pinot Noir also really gives us the fruit forwardness that we're looking for, giving beautiful red berry, cherry and pomegranate kind of notes. Whereas the Chardonnay, we use very neutral portions and just gives a beautiful acidity and a succulence to the palate, and also carries it right to the back. It spends 15 months on the lees in the bottle, giving it a little bit of extra complexity on the mid palate. So even though the style is fruit driven and aperitif and fresh, it does have a hint of complexity on the palate, giving it a beautiful smooth texture. The bubbles are pinprick small, beautiful succulent palate, and really just mouth-watering and makes you want to go back to the glass, and it's a perfect companion for any celebration. So whatever it is that you find, celebrate what matters and go pick up some of this. Thank you.